So when I was a kid, I always felt like there were lots of sitcom episodes where like kind of a non-canon episode, because Halloween is a time for non-canon episodes in a lot of sitcoms.
Famously, The Simpsons.
Obviously.
Yeah, when possible things would happen to
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, even on sitcom, like that was so. I always remembered there were like lots of episodes where somebody turned into a werewolf, or they thought they were turning into a werewolf, and they had to like rush to like a fortune teller or a gypsy and be like, I think I'm turning into a werewolf, and she would tell them about the pentagram.
Yeah.
And et cetera, et cetera.
A la the movie Silver Bullet.
I've never seen it.
Well, I think that's what they're directly parodying.
Okay, not the Wolfman. That's what I went with.
Was this a Halloween episode of Family
Sure it
Matters?
wasn't
It
Teen
sounds
Wolf?
right up. It sounds
It does,
exactly
doesn't it? So what I realized this season was that I'm pretty sure the only ones that actually happened were Dinosaurs and Boy Meets World.
Was that it?
They also, those two series were created by the same person.
Well, Dinosaurs was already kind of ridiculous and unrealistic.
But those two episodes play out identically, where it's like, you know,
Robbie turns into a...
Robbie thinks he's turning into a werewolf. He's like telling the story to Baby. And it's the same thing where like they go to a fortune teller and the fortune teller like says the spooky stuff, but there's lots of gags involving the fortune teller.
Of course.
Where, you know, she's like, she charges him money and it's funny. And then like later on he remembers her like at the sign of the pentagram. And then he's like, the pentagram. And she's like, makes like the memory said something funny back. In Boy Meets World, he's looking at the pentagon and he's like, is it the pentagram or the pentagon? And she goes, same thing.
The pentagon or the pentagram? Same difference.
It's the same gag. Wow.
It's the same gag.
So who in Boy Meets World was becoming a werewolf?
Corey.
Topanga.
Because a wolf had escaped from the zoo, and Mr. Feeney brought his trash into the house. Widows and orphans, Michael.
Mr. Matthews.
Widows and orphans.
Obviously, Michael Jacobs, the creator of both series, was like, if I ever get a sitcom, if I ever get two sitcoms.
I wonder if he's done other sitcoms and they've had similar Halloween episodes.
I think that's pretty much it for him, but I think he definitely wanted to make sure he got in those.
Yeah.
Those very, maybe next year we should just do that's our Halloween special next year. Is like we just do that stupid werewolf episode.
Let's write a few new gags, a couple new.
Just the same one, you know. And you can just be the fortune teller, so that way, like you're not in it the whole time. It's not exhausting or anything.
Yeah.
Who would be good? Who should be turning into a werewolf? Trash Baggett.
You could be like turning into a human.
Yeah.
No, I'm turning human.
No, stay away from me. It's Botback.
It's just,
He's just turning into a homeless
the
person.
origin story of Boring Chuck. He used to be this really interesting, exciting guy.
Now he's a
Turning boring.
Oh, he's turning boring. I see. He was really charismatic. And he starts
Boring Chuck is becoming charismatic.
Stay away.
That was kind of the joke when we were
He's turning into Ashley.
when we were filming recently. I appeared as Trash Baggett, but we couldn't find the gloves.
Right.
So I just had to have my human hand. So then behind the scenes, the joke was he's slowly, as a scientist, he's finding a way to turn himself back into a human or into a human.
You know what that reminds me of? Not that it has anything to do with Halloween. The story of the Ninja Turtles, as most people understand it, is pet turtle. Well, so the live action movies tell it one way, and the animated series tell it another. In the animated series, it's that pet turtles fell into the sewer, and that a guy, Hamato Yoshi, a human being, was living in the sewers, and he got exposed. Yes, and he got exposed to the mutagen too, and because he had been chilling with a lot of rats. It was like you turn into whatever animal you
hang out with.
Yeah. And he turned into a rat, and they turned into humans because they've been hanging out with him.
Yeah.
It's basically the same thing in the live action, except he
starts off as a rat.
He is the rat of Hamato, the pet rat of Hamato Yoshi.
Oh, is that what it was?
And he had been the mutagen in that just causes you to grow in intellect. It just causes you to be
and size.
It's size and intellect. So, in the video game, the NES video game.
Yep.
They don't. I think they do a quick little origin story. I think it follows the animated series version.
Because it was the same animation style.
Yeah.
It was like the same animation style.
If you beat that game, the weirdest shit happens. The end cutscene is Hamato Yoshi's like, "Thank you, turtles. You've beaten the Shredder. I can finally turn back to my human form."
Which so was it for NES?
And he just turns back into his.
He was waiting.
Which I
Like a Switch, huh?
yeah, it's just like thank
So was
you.
it Ninja Turtles 1
Jesus,
for Nintendo?
finally, yeah. The one that's like really hard and
Yeah, it was super hard.
basically
Yeah.
impossible.
The second and third ones were fun because they were like
That is
arcade.
stupid.
It was
Yeah.
so stupid.
That's bizarre.
I think that should be a Halloween thing, or like for some reason.
Thanks. Poof.
Yeah, I didn't know anything was holding him back. I mean, I remember episodes where there was some discussion of like, wow, like Master Splinter, we could turn you back into a human, like, and wouldn't you like that? Because that was an ongoing thing in the series. Was like, this poor guy's got to be a rat the rest of his life.
Yeah.
like,
In the sewers.
maybe we can, and that's why the movie canon makes a lot more sense because it was like it's just a rat that gets more intelligent.
Yeah.